Baddie.
Oh my god.
Baddie.
You started spacing me out pretty good.
Yeah.
The next game, or that last stop. For the first couple ones, you're just kind of like waiting around. Again, the same thing.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh yeah. I guess I'll ban FD and Kalos.
Okay.
Okay. Does that work? There we go.
What's up?
Hello? There we go. But like, so I think more of the same thing. Just like, don't let me just super camp you, especially whenever you're losing, because then you have there's literally no way of coming back. But if you got if you have a way to pressure me instead of just letting me set up like exchange after exchange, then that's the key.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, the thing with that one is just like, so the second stock happened, and like, it was still kind of close, so I was like, I'm going to get really close to him, and just, I'm going to do some regular Snake bullshit, right? And just, I kept hitting B, and because there was no disjoint, because we're so close, and we kept trading, but I hadn't quite lost my stock yet, so there's that. And then the last one was just like, okay, well, you've got speed on, you just like run at me real quick, and if you jump, like, it's waiting.
Yeah, I'm just dead.
Yeah.
My speed's just too fast for me like to pull out my aerial.
Mm-hmm. I really do think though, it's like there's a noticeable difference when we're playing in neutral or you're winning. So that's the thing. It's like if you can figure out how to maneuver around my stuff, and then from there get the lead back through like spacing, and mostly it's going to be mostly through pressuring and mostly through catching me when I'm either off stage or above stage. Because there's what I noticed a couple times is there was an engagement right at the beginning of the game of this game where you got a couple of up airs, like falling up airs. I think it was like two of them, and then there's one that sent me up really high. And you, after that situation, you never really chased me that much anymore when I went high. And so like I was always like, okay, I'll just always recover high. I'll never recover like low if I'm off stage. And so I think that's the other thing, just not taking advantage of the fact that like when I'm high, like yes, I can be reverse. Yes, I can drop a C4, but like honestly, like I'm not throwing out limbed attacks. Like I'm not throwing out, like sometimes I'll throw out a back air, but for the most part, it's like that back air keeps me moving in the same direction. So it's like, it's still pretty easy to go after Snake there. But yeah, I mean, I think that when you do have a lead, you still do a pretty good job of protecting it. So I think that's going to be the main thing to focus on. Is like, okay, so I've got the lead. If I find opportunities where they've like overextended to try to get back from me, I'll punish them there. But otherwise, like just doing what you need to do, maintaining it, like so spacing neutral air, spacing backwards, keeping them pinned to the edge, that kind of stuff. But then the big thing is going to be figuring out like what you need to do in order to allow you to be aggressive in those moments when you're losing. So, yeah.
When you say facing backward, what do you mean by that?
So like when you're like your back air.
Oh, okay, back air.
Like that, because that back air just lingers. So a lot of times you'll catch people like you count me like 3 or 4 times. Like I would run up and spot dodge, thinking you were gonna like try to throw out something else, and that back air was still like out there, and like I get popped by it, you know. So I think like because like you were catching some of my tendencies, where like I like try to like snakes love to abuse the spot dodge mechanic, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of times like you would hit me, and then I would like try to wait it out and then do like a spot dodge up tilt or whatever.
Exactly.
But you already had a neutral air coming out, and so that neutral air is just like lasting forever, and so I get hit by that. So I think trying to take advantage of that, like catching those types of bad habits, is going to be really nice for you, especially in your character, because you're able to punish those things without even having to commit that much. Like throwing out a neutral air or back air, that's nothing compared to like what some other characters do. So if you can be able to throw out that spaced aerial, you hit that person, and then all of a sudden yours has then ended. They're still in hit stun, and then you get to be on the aggressive, or at the very least control stage from there, right? I think that's the big thing, like trying to focus in on those instances where you catch someone either over spot dodging or over like air dodging, something like that. The rolling, I mean, I think you do a pretty good job of covering rolls already. Like you'll grab me a couple of times out of my rolls. There's one where you waited and then you just charged up smash and it popped me up. I was like, huh, okay.
Yeah, fucking Shulk.
Yeah. Like if you could do stuff like that on a more consistent basis, that's what's going to take you to the next level.
Yeah, I got you.
Okay. Right. Good stuff, bro.
Good games.